just flip-flops on, singing to that highway song. Got a little naive smile, that kind of drives you out. Nothing like playing with fire, brings boy to life. Beat you with a fuse you light, you're good, you're dynamite. You made my day when you walked into town beside me, whispered with your eyes, let's go. You made me say, what's your name, girl, you're lonely. Can I call you if I ever go down this road? And I can't seem to...
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
14:20 in the morning, 14 minutes and 20 seconds worth of sports talk to get you through your daily commute. Hot takes, recaps, best bets, and a little humor to get your day going in the right direction. Sit back, grab your coffee, and let's get into it. All right, 14:20 in the morning for the 17th day of August, 2023. Today's show is brought to you by Caldera Lab and calderalab.com. Use promo code 1420lab at calderalab.com and get 20% off their all-natural men's skincare products today. We got about 2 weeks left with our partnership, unless we get extended in that, but 2 weeks left in our original contract with Caldera Lab, so make sure you guys go there today and pick up the best in men's skincare to protect that skin and everything else. I'm not sure how it works on women. We haven't tested that out yet, but on men it works fantastically, as you can see from my grill if you're watching today on YouTube Live. Also, remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com for all their great articles and other great podcasts that are out there. Make sure you go there to bellyupsports.com. Thank you for being a part of our show for the last year and a little bit. Thanks to Belly Up. And thank you, our listeners, who've been a part of this for 3 days away from our big birthday. So thank you very much for the last 3 years for everybody who's listened to the 1420 podcast and all of our sister shows like the 1420 in the morning. Anyways, enough of me rambling on about God knows what, but you guys probably thought I was going to come on here this morning. The New York Yankees, they fell to below 500 for the first time since 1995, this late in the season. You thought I would come in here and start ranting and raving about the Yankees and being Yankee fanboy, but I decided you can't beat a dead horse anymore, so we'll give that one a rest for at least a few more days anyways, probably till next week when we get to another Yankee week in review. But last night when I got back from Calgary, took mom to the airport there, and what a disaster that is, trying to get through the city of Calgary, and we'll get on to that in a little bit. But when you sitting at Brown's having a couple of pops last night, Deanne was there already. We decided to sit down and then get out of the house a little bit. But anyways, the Los Angeles Dodgers were on TV, and you go, geez, just the familiarity you have with the Dodgers, especially with Clayton Kershaw on the mound last night at Dodger Stadium at Chavez Ravine. It was a breath of fresh air to watch that, and then you start realizing how consistent that franchise has been for a very long time. And you got thinking last night that as they won their 10th in a row last night, they've been on fire since they haven't lost since the trade deadline, I think it is, or 14 out of 15, whatever it is. But 10 winners of 10 in a row after they beat the Milwaukee Brewers last night. They're on pace again to win their second division title in a row. 10 out of the last 11, what's ever been. They had that little blip a couple of years ago when the San Francisco Giants won 107 games, but the Dodgers won 106, and they finished one game out of probably being 11, 12 division titles in a row. I know division titles don't get you a whole bunch, but it's one of those things that you look at that franchise and look at the model of consistency that they've been, the model they've been around Major League Baseball for quite some time, for years and years and years, and the consistency they have as a franchise over that time. Whether you go back to when they first moved to LA in 1958, and they played out of the LA Coliseum for a few years, where the mighty USC Trojans play, and then they moved to Dodger Stadium in 62, but they won a few World Series, not as many as obviously Dodger fans would hope, but it's one of those things where you look at that model of franchise consistency that they have right from their uniforms, the interlocking LA that they have on their hats, but the jerseys themselves haven't changed at all, really. A couple little different embroideries on them. They went from Los Angeles on the road jerseys to Dodgers and back and forth a little bit, but the interlocking LA is on the sleeve. But other than that, that, the Dodgers jerseys have not changed at all since the days when they were in Brooklyn, Jackie Robinson and Pee Wee Reese and the like. And you look at that and how that franchise has just been right there throughout the years. You can turn on the TV from the voice of Vin Scully, God rest his soul, who was the voice of baseball, I think, for a lot of years. You can't beat Vin. You still put a game on there or an old highlight, and you listen to Vin Scully waxing poetic about the great game that most of us love. But the rest of how the Dodgers are, and just the way that they work, and the way they have a team that doesn't reload, doesn't rebuild, and it doesn't find a way to get themselves in the doldrums of Major League Baseball. It's quite a refreshing change from what a lot of teams do, who will drop out of the race no matter what. You look at the Baltimore Orioles, the Houston Astros, how they got to be as bad as they were to be as good as they are now. And you look at teams who drop out of everything and they just rebuild and try to and hope and pray that the prospects that they get work out. But the Dodgers, they don't seem to do that. Even you look at their ballpark hasn't changed a whole bunch. Yes, the Guggenheim group who bought that franchise 12 years ago, and they've been successful ever since. Yeah, they spent $2 billion cash to get it, but now it's worth about $4 billion. So the investment was quite worth it. But you just watch a game on TV, especially like I said with Clayton Kershaw on the mound last night. It was something to behold, and something like the familiarity of Dodger Stadium. What you have is something it looks pretty much the exact same as it did when they first moved in there. Yeah, the pavilion seats are exactly the same out in right and left field. You do have some stuff beyond the fence that's a lot different, and beyond that seating that's different. But the playing surface is the same. Like you look at the right field seats that the Dodgers have. It's the same exact seating basically. When Kirk Gibson hit one of the most famous home runs in baseball history in 1988 off Dennis Eckersley, those seats remain untouched pretty much, and they're the exact same thing. And when you watch the highlights of that, and you get a laugh of that whole thing, with the way when the ball leaves the ballpark, if you look in the outfield, beyond the outfield, there's a set of brake lights that come on right when the ballpark is leaving, or the ball's leaving the ballpark, and you get a laugh that it was probably a wife or a husband giving his wife shit, saying, "Yeah, I told you we shouldn't have left," and because they tried to beat the LA traffic getting out of Dodger Stadium, which is horrific. It's a horrific thing to get through. But the consistency that the Dodgers have with their franchise, with their uniforms, with their fan base, and on and on. Like even when you look above the new scoreboard, obviously it's not the same scoreboard they've had since day one, because nobody would, and why would you? But even the 76 gas station sign has been refurbished and put back up there. So it's refreshing to see that kind of stuff in a baseball park, and not going too corporate like the Yankees did, and changing their look. The Dodgers had to revamp. They put a lot of money into Dodger Stadium over the years. I've had the pleasure of being to a few Dodger games over the years at Dodger Stadium. It's a great ballpark. It's a great facility, and it's steeped in tradition that you if it's refreshing that they could find a way. I mean, money talks, money can do anything, obviously, but it's refreshing to see that a place that's was opened in 1962 pretty much looks the exact same on the playing surface as it does. The one glaring change that you do have at Dodger Stadium is behind home plate there. When you do see the new corporate seats that are back there, the whole thing is quite Moose is saying. Moose Hildebrand, have you turned on the Yankees? No, it's not turning on the Yankees. This is a special place down in the Yankee Tavern North. I have a special corner that's for the Dodgers. It's one of those things, Moose. So no, I've not turned on the Yankees yet, but it's one of those things that maybe I'm putting my Yankee fandom away for the rest of this season. I'll watch and hope and laugh. But anyways, back to the Dodgers. The one thing that has changed about Dodger Stadium is behind home plate, where obviously you want to add those seats behind there where they have multiple luxury suites and everything else, and where the rich people sit, and where Mary Hart has her box seats, and Larry King used to sit all day. But you remember back in the day when Fernando Valenzuela was toting the mound, and they had a guy by the name of Mike Brito wearing the fedora back there and had the radar gun back there. A long time scout Mike Brito. I think he just passed away a couple of years ago, but he was behind the mesh back there. It's one of those things as a kid you always remember seeing. That was one of the consistencies of every Dodger game. He was back there. But the Dodgers in general, they seem to do it right. Yes, they only have the one World Series in the modern era, like the 2020, which was the COVID year. One of those situations that you have that they just can't seem to get it done, can't seem to get it right. Clayton Kershaw has had some hiccups, obviously, in the playoffs, and he hasn't really get things going as he would hope. But that team is right there year in, year out, and you got to think the fan base, who seems like a very loyal fan base, they get four 4 million plus a year in there every year. And you got to think that fan base is very thankful and that's why they're very supportive every night when the Dodgers are on TV and at home. The place is packed every night. The place has seats 40-some thousand and it's packed every night, not at the beginning of the game and not at the end of the game, but right in the middle there when the game matters, people are there because it's a tough place to get to. Traffic is tight to get to, and everybody drives in New York or in Los Angeles. Sorry, see Moose, I can't get rid of the New York in me, but it's one of those things. You watch how that fan base, how passionate they are. One of the most passionate fan bases in baseball that gets forgotten about because a lot of people are in bed when the Dodgers are playing. Even here in Alberta, we're just mountain time. But when the game's over, it's 11 o'clock, and I'm already going to bed. But people on the East Coast, I don't think they get the same feeling about the Los Angeles Dodgers that people on the West Coast get, obviously, because people, when the game starts, it's already what time? It's already 10 o'clock when the game starts, and you're not staying up to watch a game you aren't passionate about. I'm sure there are still some Brooklyn Dodger fans. There may be ancestors of Brooklyn Dodger fans. I don't know how many originals there that are still left, because considering they left in 1959, but there are probably still some Dodger fans out there on the East Coast that are loyal through and through and will watch the Dodgers. There's Yankee people who hate the Yankees enough from Brooklyn that are probably still Dodger fans. They'll find a way to watch it, but it's a great tradition that they have there in Los Angeles, and you gotta admire that. And like I said, you turn the game on last night and you watch Clayton Kershaw out there, and he's still dealing 18 seasons in. What he's got left to help in the playoffs, who knows? It's one of those things you just don't know what they're going to get, but you hope that they can get another couple of world championships out of that group they got there, because Mookie Betts is putting together a Hall of Fame career already. He's one of the best in baseball, top 5, top 6 guys. Freddie Freeman's one of the top players in baseball as well, and they got him for a mistake by the player agent when he wanted to stay in Atlanta after the World Series victory they got there, but there was a lot of dick swinging and everything else that was happening with Freddie Freeman. But that franchise is unbelievable how they just regroup, retool every year. They went out and got JD Martinez, who found the fountain of youth, got 20-some home runs this year already, and then they went out and picked up Kike Hernandez, who's one of the better Dodgers in the last 15 years, and they went and got him again, and he's helping that franchise hopefully win another championship. And he was welcomed back with open arms, even after having a not so good time this year with the Boston Red Sox. Fuck Boston, but it's one of those things. You watch that team and you watch that they really have a shot every year in, year out, where they have the one of the higher payrolls. Actually, they're number 6. I did a little looking this morning. They're number 6 on the payroll scale this year, which is low for them considering the last, I think, 7 or 8 years they've been number 1 for spending. But now with the Mets and the Yankees and now the San Diego Padres inside that division spending as much money or spending as much or more than the Dodgers do, it's good to see the Dodgers don't have to be at the top of it, and they can find ways to bring up guys in their minor league system, and they draft and develop properly, and they have a franchise that they can be proud of. They spend money on their minor league teams, and they find a way to get their teams better and get kids from the minor leagues up into the big leagues. It's working brilliantly. Walker Buehler, is one of their greats on their roster. He had Tommy John surgery. He's reported might be coming back in the coming months ahead to make a playoff push. Who knows if that's going to help out and whether they will allow him to come back, because you don't want a guy coming back too soon after Tommy John, because they invest a lot of money in these arms over the years, and the amount of money you spend to come back to maybe to play 3 or 4 games and only pitch in one of them, is it worth it? How much money is a World Series worth to a franchise? Probably a $500 million or so. So these guys probably wouldn't mind putting a few extra bucks in their pocket. But the Magic Johnson group, which I think he's kind of a backbench guy in that group. Magic's done very well for himself, obviously, but the Guggenheim group has a lot of money. So put another $500 million in your pocket, winning a world championship probably doesn't hurt. No matter what, $500 million is still $500 million. But the Dodgers put themselves in a great position year in, year out with their consistency and how they go about doing things. And I think that they are commended well by their fan base. Their fan base supports them 100%. And you wonder why other franchises don't follow the Dodger model to do that. Yes, money comes into effect. You need money to spend money, but there's a lot of teams, a lot of people that would would follow their franchise a lot more, would support their franchises a lot more if they saw that there was going to be support from their team, and that their team was committed to winning year in, year out, which the Dodgers are. The Mets could say they were this year, but they turned out they weren't. They blew it. The Yankees can say they are, but here comes Yankee wisdom again. They really aren't. They blew their wad on 3 or 4 players, and the rest of the guys aren't very good. Whereas the Dodgers, right up and down the lineup, they went and added a Lance Lynn at the trade deadline, and that doesn't hurt at all. Like, Lance Lynn isn't a top 2 rotation guy, but when you get into the playoffs and into World Series time, you need your 3-4 guy to be the guy, and Lynn's on the hill tonight, I think, when they play the Milwaukee Brewers to go for their 11th win in a row, and I think they'll get it. That team's on a wagon right now. They aren't stopping. And getting back to Walker Buehler, he made a good point the other day. He was talking about Fernando Valenzuela, which I thought they would have retired his jersey number 34 a long time ago, but it turns out they just did it this past weekend at Chavez Ravine. Big ceremony, it all happened, and Walker Buehler made a very good point that they should probably maybe revamp how they do the Rookie of the Year Rookie of the Year awards, which Fernando Valenzuela won in '81. He also won the Cy Young that year, coming out of Mexico as a virtual unknown and everything else. And you wonder what Walker was onto something. He said maybe they should have a Rookie of the Year for a starting pitcher or a relief pitcher or something, because those guys don't get to play every day, so they don't get the same press as a rookie does, like a guy who hits, a guy who runs, a guy who plays the position players. So maybe Walker Buehler's onto something to have the Fernando Valenzuela award that is given out to the best rookie pitcher of the year every year, because he was a third or fourth, I think it was, in his rookie year to Juan Soto, and he said I didn't get to play as much, obviously, because I'm a pitcher, not a position guy, so you get to see him a lot more, and so just his stats alone are going to outnumber mine, because if you don't get to see a guy, and then they get shut down a little bit and innings limits and all that stuff. So for the Fernando Valenzuela award number 34, looking up this guy with his horn rim glasses, or his wire rim glasses, whatever they were back in '81. Man, he was something else to watch in those Dodger days, and having Vin Scully in the background talking about Valenzuela and how he was just so great, and the way the Mexican crowd or the Spanish crowd came to Chavez Ravine to just honor this guy on a nightly basis. It was something to behold. I remember that. It's one of my earlier memories of baseball. I was 7 years old in 1981, so it's one of those things you remember. And actually, the Lethbridge Dodgers were the Pioneer League team of the Rookie League team of the Los Angeles Dodgers back in the day. So LA met Lethbridge, Alberta on their hats back in the late 70s, early 80s. I went to some games with my grandfather, which was the old Henderson Stadium. So my Dodger ties go back a long ways. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Dodgers pull it out and see if they can win a World Series. Yes, they haven't been successful. Is Dave Roberts the guy? I think he's a great manager. I think he's a great baseball guy. I've forgiven him for the 2004 stolen base against the New York Yankees. That turned that 3-0 deficit into a world championship for the Boston Red Sox. But he seems like a pretty good manager. Seems like he's got connected with the players. The players seem to love him. But the Dodgers, they need to be an all-time team and one of the all-time greats. They need to win a World Series with this group, a World Series or two. Can they get by Atlanta? I don't know. Atlanta's pretty damn good. I mean, they played the Yankees this week, so anybody looks good against them right now. But that team can pitch a little bit and they can hit a lot. So can the Dodgers get past the Braves? We remain to be seen. It'll be fun to watch those two teams battle out in the playoffs. But you get by, I think those are the two elite teams in baseball right now. I think they have the best chance of winning a World Series. I think they're superior to any American League team right now. I would probably get a little bit of pushback on that one, but it's be interesting to see how it all pans out. Will the Baltimore Orioles find a way to stay relevant? Will the Houston Astros come back and do it all? Can the Texas Rangers do something they haven't ever done in their franchise history? Who knows? It remains to be seen. But the Dodgers, look out for them. Winners of 10 in a row. They'll probably go to 11 tonight. But it's good for the sport of baseball to have them relevant, because they're one of the best. I think they're the model franchise in all of professional baseball. Think of somebody else who's been better in the last 20 years with the consistency they've had and their fan base and everything else, how they fill that building no matter what. So the Dodgers are one of those teams. I'm actually sitting in some old Dodger stadium seats from when they did some renovations back, I think it was 15 years ago. I found some on eBay that I'm sitting on right now, an old Dodger stadium seat, the blue ones, right? So it's there because it was the sea, the sky, and the ocean, or the sea, the sand, and the ocean is the way or the sky, whatever it is. I can't remember, but that's how they color code their seats there at Dodger Stadium. So, and then over behind me, I got a bunch of Dodger stuff here in the one corner of the Yankee Tavern Northwood. When you come down here and enjoy your beverage, you might get to sit in some Dodger Stadium seats, not just the Yankee ones. I'm going to put the rest over there for the remainder of the season. Might put a tarp over those things to end the year. But anyways, there's my talk for today on some baseball. Anyways, here's a little story, or a little shout out to our friends at Caldera Labs. Summer's heating up, guys. It's hotter than the surface of the sun here. And as the sun shines brighter, your skin deserves the utmost attention. Fortunately, our friends at Caldera Lab are here to ensure your skin is well prepared for the season ahead. Ever since I incorporated Caldera Lab into my routine, taking care of my skin has never been simpler. Their products are clinically proven to help visibly reduce wrinkles, fine lines, and signs of aging. Confidence and impeccable first impression are all at your fingertips with Caldera Labs this summer. Don't miss out on joining the skincare revolution trusted by countless men by using promo code 1420LAB at calderalab.com to enjoy an exclusive 20% off their finest products. Caldera Lab creates a high-performance men's skincare product, and their regimen leads off their product lineup, a twice-a-day routine to transform your skin. Inside this bundle, you'll find the clean slate, the base layer, and the good. Caldera Lab is made with top-tier ingredients. It's a great addition to your daily routine, taking care of less than a minute morning and night. Jesus, getting tough. And reduce wrinkles, fine lines, and signs of aging. Avoid being the butt of everyone's joke around the pool this summer by joining taking the leap to skincare royalty with Caldera Lab. Go to calderalab.com and use promo code 1420LAB at calderalab.com today and get the 20% off the best in men's skincare available on the market today. Still got 2 weeks left before our contract with them runs out, and they might renew negotiations. My people are talking to their people, so we'll see how that's all going to pan out in the weeks and days ahead. But anyways, thank you to Caldera Lab for being a sponsor of the 1420 Sports Bar podcast and 1420 in the morning and the Hey Blue podcast and everywhere else. I must be getting on mine. I'm on this a lot, but anyways, we enjoy doing it. Let's get to Brent's Best Bets, and we'll get you guys out of here. Brent's Best Bet brought to you by Bodog. Make a play at Bodog today. Light schedule in baseball tonight. 6 games on tap, but I'll give you guys 3 to make a play and pad your pockets today. Take the Cleveland Guardians. They'll scratch out a win tonight at home versus Detroit Tigers, only for no other reason. Both teams stink, but I'm going to take the home team in this one. Take the Cleveland Guardians to win this one. Take the Cardinals to win at home over the New York Metropolitans tonight in St. Louis. The battle of the aging pitchers between Jose Quintana and Adam Wainwright. It hasn't went well for Wainwright, but finally look for him to get a win for the home team again tonight. And to finish it off, take the Dodgers to extend their winning streak to 11 games tonight as solid Corbin Burns for Milwaukee. He's good. Probably in his last legs there in Milwaukee. They're in a bit of a problem there in Milwaukee with their stadium lease and renovations that got to happen there at the Amclam Sham Fan, whatever they want to call it, American Life. Can't remember what they call it. It used to be Miller Field. But anyways, get back to best bets. Take the Dodgers to win tonight. Put down. I really stumbled through this. I got talking about something else. I get to sidetrack something. Put down $120 or put down $20, win 130. It's the Dodgers, Cleveland, and St. Louis. Like I said, $20, win yourself $130.52 tonight at Bodog. Click on our personalized link and get a $400 sign-up bonus tonight at Bodog. But if you're going to play, make sure you play responsibly at Bodog tonight. Make a play at Bodog. That's Brent's Best Bet brought to you by Bodog. There it is. Tonight, back in the saddle, back in the 1420 Sports Bar with Dave. We're getting ready for our big our third birthday show on Sunday afternoon, 2:00 live on YouTube. So make sure you guys tune into that. Should be a lot of fun. We got some guests lined up to have some lighthearted talk and just do some of our favorite segments and not talk about sports a whole bunch, but just some stuff that we've done in the past that'll have a lot of laughs and everything else. So that's 14:20 in the morning for today, guys. I'm a little revved up. A little extra coffee this morning, one of those things. Anyways, make sure you check out some of our old shows. Doesn't hurt to download some of them. Again, go to bellyupsports.com. Check out the great articles and everything else that Belly Up Sports has to offer, articles and podcasts and everything else there that we got going on. So thank you very much for listening to 1420 in the morning and the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. We are wherever you get your podcasts, and listen to some old shows today. Doesn't hurt. Support and go to Bodog and Caldera Lab. Have a good day, folks, and we will talk to you again tonight.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't
podcast. For Beer with the Sports Talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Media Network.